The real reason why a lot of us have struggled with the word leveling up is because we have not found our identity. We haven't figured out who we really are and we haven't tapped into it. That's why when we talk about purpose, it scares the ever living day a lot of us. What do you mean by purpose? I got to find my purpose. It's not something that you chase, it's something that you attract. And by attracting it, you got to become the person in order to align with it. It's really that simple. So you don't need another book. You don't need discipline. You don't need consistency. You have already mastered that. You've done the journaling. You've done the 5 a.m. wake ups and the workouts. You've done the meditation. You're doing all the things, but you're still finding yourself not a self starter. And it's not totally your fault because there's one important ingredient even I missed out on, which is figuring out who I am. And this is why I love being a coach is we work together at figuring out what your identity is, what it looks like, why you want it to look a certain way, feel a certain way, why it brings you joy, why does it fill up your cup. So instead of focusing on the destination, we're going to start focusing on in today's episode on how you're going to really start to identify who you are and what you're about so that you can tap into leveling up your way, not society's way, but your way. Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast. You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're just fighting the wrong battle. And today we're going to be getting into like why you are not leveling up in your life, or maybe you don't feel like you're leveling up in your life. I'm going to give you steps of how you can fix it starting today. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, grab something to start taking notes. And the things that I'm going to be talking about, I want you to identify in your own way. So for example, I'm going to give you a practical reflection in the moment. What area of your life feels like it's on repeat no matter what you do? What area in your life that you feel like it's a constant hamster wheel and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, no matter how many steps or what difference you try to make in terms of habits? Now, I want you to think about that. Write it down because it's going to help you grab all the tips you need so that you can even work through that very situation at hand. All right, let's get into it. Most people focus on their habits, the books they read, the podcasts they listen to, the morning routines, the vision boards. Now, all these things are great tools, but they forget one particular core, your identity. Your identity is only going to take you as far as your belief allows you to go. Because if you're still seeing yourself as not good enough, not worthy enough, not deserving enough, you're going to continuously have the exact same results in the end. Start doing an identity audit. Now, I want you to list what are some of the things that that version of you would do, believe, and also say. Who are you becoming? It's a question you ask yourself. What would I be doing as that person who I'm becoming? What do they believe in? How do they talk to themselves? Now, while you're going through all of that, I want you to also take a step back and feel the awareness of where you're coming from that very moment. Because at the end of the day, your words, even the words you say in your head, they shape your identity and they can put you in the space that you need to be aligned with and the space that you want to be aligned with. Now, here's the thing. You can't level up while you're holding on to old season, old comfort zones, old people, and old stories. Because at the end of the day, all of that will weigh you down. And here's the part about leveling up that a lot of people don't talk about. There's some people you cannot take with you. I'm sorry, boo-boo. You can't do it. And it's not that you're punishing anyone in any way, shape, or form. Leveling up requires a lot of difficult decisions, but decisions that are going to benefit you in the long run. Because the version of you that survived through whatever it is that you had to survive cannot come with you in the version of you that you're succeeding. You can, of course, be very grateful of that version of you that had to survive, but sometimes you can't take that version with you to where you want to go to succeed. Now, a couple of ways that you can work through letting go, and I know this is hard for a lot of us, but please give yourself an immense amount of grace. Write down what or who no longer fits in the season that you are entering. And I know this part is a little tricky, but it is necessary for you to go where you want to go. And part of that is becoming the person to get to where you want to be. You got to sometimes shed the fat to get to the good part. Now, this one always helps me out whenever I like to say an affirmation out loud, or a mantra perhaps. I release what no longer serves me to make room for what is for me. Again, I release what no longer serves me to make room what is for me. This is a good way to clear out the energy or clear out some good space that is no longer needed to welcome the things in your life that is needed. Now, here's another part that's going to be tricky for a lot of us. You don't have to explain your growth to anybody. You just have to embody it. Those who are willing to stand by you throughout you embodying it, those who are willing to stand next to you while you're becoming this person and this version of you, they'll understand. They'll respect it because they love you and they'll be cheering you on along the way. And those that kind of fall on the wasteland, don't worry about it. Either they'll get on program at some point, or that just wasn't meant to carry with you along to the news chapter of your life. Let's talk about hard conversations for a moment. Many of us avoid hard conversations because we are afraid of hurting the other person, perhaps, because that is rooted in people pleasing. That's rooted in overthinking. We hold on to situations because we're afraid to possibly hurt someone's heart. But how is it holding you back by you holding on to all of that hard conversation? Sometimes we are one step away, but what's holding us back is that one conversation that may be a little tricky, that may be a little difficult, but at least you can get through that one moment of feeling that way, of going through that, versus a lifetime of just dealing with it and carrying it. Avoidance blocks your alignment. So if you're trying to get to a certain destination and you're afraid of having that hard conversation could block your alignment of where you need to go and where you need to be. Avoiding tough conversations, environments, self-reflection can keep you very small. Peacekeeping isn't the same as peace building. And I don't want you to get this twisted, but confrontation is just not about having a conversation with someone else. Sometimes it's about having that tough accountability portion of having a conversation with yourself. So one way that you can start off is writing down that tough conversation you know you need to have that you've been rehearsing in your head. Who is it with? What it's about. And ask yourself, how would I feel if I finally had clarity in that situation? Oftentimes when we think about leveling up, we think about waiting for permission, just giving ourselves permission. Giving yourself permission to feel, heal, and work through the hard stuff. Because self-doubt can disguise itself as confirmation. Waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to speak up, waiting for somebody's approval. I want you to remember this. Confidence grows through decision, permission. Oftentimes we're one decision away from that step that we need to just level up. We're one decision away from getting to where we've been fighting for years and years and years. And how you can do that in terms of making a decision and making a concrete decision that benefits you the most is, again, changing your vocabulary. Instead of I'll try, I've decided. Make it concrete. Make it count. Hold yourself accountable. The second thing you could do is start taking action. Okay, you've made the plan. You've talked about the strategy. You've mentioned it time and time again. You've journaled about it. Time to take action. Do one thing on the list of goals that you've set and work towards it. 1% a day accumulates no matter how many days it takes. So even if you focus on 1%, you're still working and you're still building. Start off small to grow big. You're not stuck. You're outgrowing your old self. That is a part of leveling up. Leveling up starts when you start to change your identity. When you detach yourself from your old season and start acting towards decisions you know you need to make. It's all about taking action and knowing who you are. Remember, knowing who you are is your identity. That is your foundation. And I know this may feel uncomfortable. There's a lot of steps, little points that you have to make, but you've been praying for this. You've been manifesting this. You've been asking for this. And I hate to tell you, it ain't going to be comfortable. If you want expansion, it takes growth. It takes you being stretched like a rubber band. You can't stay comfortable in this season of leveling up. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you're able to grab some really good gems. And this is the episode that you need to remember. Whenever you think about leveling up, remember what I said. Get to know your identity to get to know where you want to be and where you're aligned to be. All right? All right. Now, you know what to do. My name is Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, dopest life coach out there. Walk with peace, walk with love.